Hello, my name is Jeff Fuller. I'm a grandfather, father, and retired Army Special Forces Lieutenant Colonel. I live in Haymarket, Virginia. Um, Basically, I wanted to say a couple things to vets and their families. The first is I feel the pain and the anger and the frustration that almost all vets that I know feel as a result of Biden's surrender to the Taliban in Afghanistan and turning over $85 billion worth of military gear and leaving behind, most egregiously, hundreds of Americans and thousands of worthy Afghans, while bringing into the country somewhere around 60,000 or more Afghans who may not in any way be deserving and may in fact be the enemy. Now, the strange thing that I would bring to you is that Senator Biden, back towards the end of the Vietnam War, my era, was instrumental in reducing, in fact, eliminating all funding for the South Vietnamese army. This led to almost an immediate collapse in morale and basically the debacle that was known as the helicopters bringing people off out of the embassy onto ships. So that was Biden then. Now we have Biden now, where he literally presides over the humiliation of America and the destruction of many of the things vets have fought for over the years. So I find that interesting and it's worth reflecting on. Now, to the vets and to their families, you all have sacrificed hugely and you've done the job. My era have kept the communists at bay, and the era of the post 9/11 active duty and vet crowd have basically kept the jihadis at bay. And America knows that, and I want to say on their behalf, thank you for your service. And I mean not just the vets, but the families that have endured tour after tour after tour and the daily horrors of not knowing what's happening with your loved one. Now, vets and family members, we need your leadership. We need your experience in the fight against the woke mob in Richmond and in Washington, D.C. What do I mean by the woke mob? These are the people in both D.C. and in Richmond that are pushing critical race theory or neo-Marxist ideology down the throats of our teachers and students. It's happening here in Prince William County, in Fairfax County, in Loudoun County, and many places across Virginia and the country. So we need your leadership and we need your experience to help with this fight. And I really don't think I'm too busy. I've got other things going on. Too busy to help save your country? I don't think so. I don't think there's such a thing as that too busy. So I'm asking you to look at what you can do. Now, I'm going to have some suggestions right away here. First, vote now in person in Virginia. Vote for the House district and for the statewide races that are basically constitutional conservatives. And if you don't know where to vote, call your or contact your county election office and they'll tell you where to vote and when those places are open. But we've got between now and the end of the beginning of November to do early voting. Now, why do you want to vote and vote in person? To keep the fraudsters from stealing your vote. If they steal your vote, if they come in early, sign an affidavit saying, I'm Joe the Ragman, and that's you, and they vote for you, you never get that vote back. It's never discoverable. It's gone. Now you vote with a provisional ballot and you have to prove who you are to some election official, and let's just say they're persuaded. Okay, that means your vote goes in. That means your vote was essentially canceled. That's unacceptable, but we've got to fight it. And the only way I can think of doing it is vote now in person and and take care of that. Now, I'm going to tell you one other thing you can do. Really important. You can vote more than once. You can vote 10 times. I personally have already voted 6 times. How? I've gone through my list of friends who are like-minded, and made a list of them. I call them up and I say, "Hey, John, have you voted?" Oh, voted. No, I wasn't thinking about voting. I don't vote in these off-year elections. Okay, John, let's talk about that. And I explain why it's critical that he vote this year and forevermore in local elections. Having done that, I say, "Okay, John, when are you going to vote?" He says, "Okay, tomorrow." I say, "Okay, great. What do I do the day after tomorrow?" I call John. "John, did you vote?" "Oh, man. Yeah, my cat got sick and then had some problems." Okay, okay, John. Stuff happens. So when are you going to vote?" "Yeah, I'm going to vote this afternoon." "Okay, what do you do?" "Tomorrow, you call John. Hey, John, did you vote?" God, my mother-in-law, it was hey, John, no worries. How about if I come by your place tomorrow at 10 and we'll go to vote, and afterwards we'll have a cup of coffee and tell some war stories. Okay? You go through your list, you knock them off, and you'll probably get 7 out of 10 to vote. But you got to explain why, and you got to tell them how to do it, and so forth, and explain why to vote in person right away. So you know that now. I have also asked you to support the campaigns of the constitutional conservatives that are running in Virginia. I don't need to tell you more than that. I don't need to tell you which party. Just find the constitutional conservatives and support their campaign. If it's a House district, put a few bucks in the campaign, call the campaign or sign up and say you'll help with door knocking if you're able to do that, or telephone calls, whatever they need. Hand out, at least get a sign and put it in your yard. Now, why? Even if we don't get the Senate for 2 more years, the constitutional conservatives, if they take the House, and we only need 6 seats to take the House, they can stop any more bad ideas coming out of Richmond. They cannot turn back the bad ideas on Second Amendment and voting without the House or the Senate. The governor, however, can literally disembowel the critical race theory neo-Marxist from the Virginia Department of Education. Get them out of there and stop all that nonsense policy about teachers being evaluated for their cultural responsiveness, which is basically to the degree to which they've signed up for critical race theory. So you can do that. The Attorney General can rule legally on matters having to do with elections and other constitutional protections based on the U.S. and the Virginia Constitution and law. And the Lieutenant Governor can break ties in the Senate. So those are 3 important functions that have to do with solving or moving the direction we need to move. The other thing I'd ask you to do is go to a damn school board meeting. That'll be an eye-opening experience. Find out what the agenda is. Sign up to speak. Become informed on the issues of critical race theory and mask and vaccine policies, etc. There's a lot of stuff going on at the local level. And also your county. Find out what they're up to. There's a lot of unfortunate stuff that's happening at the local level. So that's my pitch to you. Vote early, now, in person. Vote often by enlisting your friends and getting them to the polls. Support your local campaigns and start getting involved locally. That's what you can do. We've got between now and the 2nd of November to turn the tide in Virginia. please help me and your other friends that are active in this fight to turn the tide. So with that, as a happy warrior, I'm going to ask you to go in liberty and be well.